Oh, landmines and jellyfish. Welcome back to Knives, I guess. And personally, I think Men in Black would have been better if it was about a bunch of clones of Johnny Cash fighting aliens. I think you'll agree with me on that. Anyhow, we did a 4-hour live stream last night, and you guys that were there for it and hung out with me the whole night, thank you so much. It was awesome. We had a lot of fun with that. Great live stream. But I let the 20-sided die pick the knife, and one of the 4 knives I had was one I didn't feel like using, like usual. And I like throwing one that I don't want to use in there for you guys. You know, it might be entertaining, we might learn something, and of course, if it's all 4 knives that I really want to use, there's no stakes for it, you know. So, the third of the last 4 weeks I've done this, or the last 4 streams I've done this, it gave me the one I didn't want to use, and that is, the CJRB Tigris. So, let's take a look at what we got first and foremost. Your pocket clip right here is tip up, which is the Lord's carry. You've got a flipper tab. Pocket clips are not reversible, but you got a flipper tab, and let's flick the bean. We have got just a hair over 3 inches of blade to play around with, and you got a nice large pocket cleaver style blade. You could also call this like a modified Warncliffe if you really wanted to push the limits of the definition. And of course, with this red, white, and black colorway, I did a 20-sided die lanyard bead for it, and I had to. But the reason I didn't want to use this is the ergos look really, really screwy. All right, you've got a lot of sharp angles that aren't broken down that well on this thing, and it get like when I carried it for review and at work, and after I got it way before I started the channel. One thing it was bad about was hot spotting and rubbing. Like, there's so many angles on this thing that really like rubbing and causing irritation, and I'd have hot spots, like a bunch of small hot spots, kind of in an outline of the knife by the end of the day every day. So it doesn't get carried much, but right in here, if you can see, we've got hard angle, the liner, the lock sticks out a little bit. It's not terrible, but going into this right here, the edge of this piece of G10 is not broken down at all. It's like a sharp 90 right there. So, like, there was potential for a ton of discomfort. And to the knife's credit, it was nowhere near as bad as I thought it would be. The ergos wound up being adequate for what I was doing. All right, but my grip was kind of centered like this while I was cutting. If you're doing like hard pressure cuts or something like that, where you have to grip it like this, you're not doing a whole lot of those before this thing starts to hurt like hell. So, I mean, for what it is, you buy this because it looks cool. You buy it because you're in a, you're not doing this in a heavy use, like a hard use environment. It's not going to happen. You will get fed up with this thing after a few minutes. But, so the ergos have kind of kept this out of my rotation. I'd carry it once in a while just because it looked cool and I wanted to, carry something different, switch it up a little bit. But yeah, so it didn't get carried a whole lot. But we stropped it up and we started in on the live stream. And, I've said it before, but like your CR series steels, those, the finest part of the apex will wear off after about an hour. And then going into about 2 hours-ish, you start hearing a much louder cut. And then, it kind of deteriorates from there until by the end of 4 hours, it gets really ragged and sloppy and the paper likes to wad up around the edge. And then we did the D2 on the Gin Captain knife kit right here, and this thing took 4 hours and started showing about 2 to 2.5 hours worth of wear on 8CR. This thing, however, after 4 hours, let's take a look at the cut. As long as I don't bork this cut up, that's going to be the trick. Don't mess it up. Knives, I guess, don't mess this cut up. You can do this. I kind of messed the cut up, but I am messing this cut up so bad, and I don't want to shoot another take. We're going to get this. But basically, there we are. That's what I was looking for. So after 4 hours of cutting, we got what is the equivalent of about an hour to an hour and a half at 8CR 13 cuts. So this has been, this AR RPM9 has held its edge better than anything else we've done so far. And this is the first time I've taken one of these to the aftermath video and did that cut without stropping it at the end of the stream. Like, we got to the end of the stream, we hit 4 hours, and physically I couldn't take it anymore. My limit's at about 4 hours, and then I start just getting kind of fuzzy-headed and a little bit punch-drunk, and, my arms and back are good to go, hands are good to go, but my head's just not in it anymore. So, Yeah, at the 4 hour mark, that thing is holding up, about like an hour to an hour and a half of 8CR13 cuts. The AR RPM9 steel is fantastic. And this is kind of one of the things that's really cool about doing this is I am learning things. Like I've read online that D2 is significantly better than 8CR, that AR RPM9 is a great budget steel and one of the nicer budget steels you can get. And now I see the difference. That's part of the reason that I do these streams is, we check and we see what the differences are, Like I saw how good D2 just blows 8CR out of the water. AR RPM9, notably better than D2, demolishes 8CR, and it's interesting that, we're picking this stuff up as we go. And, now I can say from personal experience that I know what these steels can do. We are going to strop this thing because I want to see what it's like after stropping and if I can get it back to the edge I had when we started. Because when we started that stream, this is one of the finest edges that I've had in a while, but, I also stropped the hell out of it before we started the stream up because it saw carry and it saw use. But, this is kind of like the Sativian ST155 with the messed up ergos. However, the ST155 is significantly worse than this knife is, just all the way around. So, like, the looks are deceptive. The ergos are a little bit better than it looks like it's going to be, but, I wish they would have, like, softened these corners up a little bit and made them a little bit more gentle on the surfaces they touch, basically. I like CJRB. I only have a couple of their stuff. I got the pyrite, and a lot of stuff on the wish list that I ain't gonna have anytime soon because, well, poor. And I do have a new one coming in today, an O knife, which will be my first one there, which we're gonna have fun taking a look at once Amazon drops it off. Hopefully they get it earlier in the day. I do want to take a look at it, and it's my style. It is pocket cleaver, and it is big pocket cleaver. So, looking forward to that. But yeah, if you guys aren't catching the live streams, they're a totally different vibe than these videos. Like, we hang around, we goof off, we screw around with the guys in the comments. I always have a lot of fun with them, but that's just me. And I thought I was going to be shilling for Make-A-Wish Georgia already, but my guy either hasn't set it up or hasn't sent me the link yet so I can share it with you guys, so we're still waiting on that. And the strop, I will say it. If this is your first time seeing these strops and you haven't heard it from me yet, but get some diamond paste on a strop. Get 10 micron and 5 micron, and you can get yourself just about anywhere you want to go. And then if you got a second strop, you can go down to 5 micron and like 1 micron, and just get that edge finer and finer and finer. So here's our 2.5 micron. And I was told at the end of the stream that AR RPM9 strops up really well. And I know it stropped up real nice before we started the stream. Like, that was an effortless cut. Alright. How's she do? Yeah, like, the steel takes very kindly to a strop. As long as you don't mess the cut up. It is amazing how hard it is to do these cuts under a camera because I've only got about that much space to hold the paper and deal with it. But yeah, AR RPM9 strops up really well, and if I wanted to spend more time on it, I could send it through the strop cycle one more time and get it like crazy sharp. Is it shaving again? Yeah, it is back to shaving. And that was, what, a minute and a half, something like that on the strop. So, yeah, that was a fun live stream. I wanted to show you guys what happened with the AR RPM9. I've been asked to do AR RPM9 a lot. I know that was a bit of a wait to get through all that, but yeah, so I'm impressed by the AR RPM9. One of the next ones that we have to go through is 440C, the modern 440C. I do have a Ganzo or two floating around from before the channel got started and all that, so that's in the mix, and I look forward to seeing what the next one we get is. Again, I'd like it to be the 440C, but the 20-sided die picks the knife. So that's this thing. It did great. I am thoroughly impressed by the edge retention on this compared to everything else we've done so far. But all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Subscribers, you guys are awesome. You guys are still coming in, and we are slowly getting towards 1,000. I think we're 73 away right now. I would love it if you dropped a sub. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we got giveaways coming. And looks like we got some G10 folding knives for your kids, or just to sit there and build and play around with once we get there to give away. So, comments, I love some feedback. Let me know what you think about this, or your experience with AR-RPM9, or if you have one of these, what do you think about the ergos? If you have one of these, let me know how you have experienced the ergos on this. I am curious. But all that being said, y'all have a nice day.